How's it going, guys? Welcome back to episode 10 of OKnowSports. I'm your host, Owen Schiff. As you know by now, this is the best place for all NFL news, my favorite takes of the week, always favorite bets of the week, and sometimes even a featured sport of the week. Let's get into it. We got an awesome divisional round. My mouth's watering looking at these games on this slate this weekend. I can't wait to watch, especially the Ravens against the Texans. Two amazing young quarterbacks going at it. I'm really excited for this weekend, but I'm starting a new thing this week on OKnowSports, as we're not in the offseason yet, luckily, but unfortunately we're on the tail end and we're in the playoffs. We got a few more rounds left, but as we continue into the offseason, I'm going to start analyzing what the future looks like and what the near future looks like for teams in each division. Today, we're going to be starting in the NFC East. The reason for that, any of you NFL fans know, Mike McCarthy got rehired for the Cowboys. Eagles talking about firing Sirianni. There's a lot of talk in the NFC East right now. There really is. And so we're going to start there, 100%. So let's get into it. First, we'll talk about the Cowboys. They finished the season 12-5. They won the NFC East title. And this is their third season in a row going 12-5. And as unfortunate as it is for Cowboys fans, they are 1-3 in the playoffs in that time. I'm hearing a lot of guys saying that Dak's not the guy and Mike McCarthy's not the guy. Well, Jerry Jones clearly thinks he is. And we're going to dive in here and kind of talk about if he is the guy or if he's not. So here's my OKnowSports opinion on it. And I would love to hear the comments, what you guys think, because I know there's a lot of Cowboys fans out there watching. After all, this is America's team. So I'd love to hear you guys comment and hear what you guys think about the Cowboys rehiring McCarthy. So here we go. So I think, although he's got a special team around him, he's getting dealt a pretty good hand. He's got one of the best O-lines in football. Dak's a good quarterback. He's got CeeDee Lamb, amazing draft pick they chose, and they're awesome at home, and they have a great fan base. All of those things kept in mind, it's not easy to win 12 games in the NFL. And McCarthy's done that 3 seasons in a row. Yes, he has no playoff, really anything in the playoffs to show for it. He has a single win to show for it. But I do think he deserves another chance. And I think that because the vibe on the Cowboys is great. And he's clearly a great locker room coach that a lot of the players like. They never have off-field issues. And they never really have those kind of issues in the Cowboys. And I think I'm going to get some disagreement on this. And I think people are going to say, like, Owen, you're an idiot for thinking that McCarthy should come back. But I really think he deserves one more year. And I don't think it's wrong that Jerry Jones did that, even though they just got embarrassed by the Packers. Literally embarrassed. That was a horrible performance. Dak was awful until the end. And I know one of my Cowboys buddies, shout out Dan Savino, he was saying, of course, Dak ends up with 350 and 3 TDs. Of course. That's just typical Dak. Meaning, he had 2 picks, basically lost in the game, put the game out of reach, but stayed in and kind of like stat padded at the end of the game. That has been one thing that Dak has been kind of known for. His stats are always good, but he may never win playoff games. So that's for the Cowboys. Now we'll jump into the Eagles. And I talked about no off-the-field issues with McCarthy. That's not the case for Sirianni, Nick Sirianni's team with the Eagles. In case you didn't know, they were 10-1 at one point this season. They ended the season 1-6, including their playoff loss to the Bucs, who are now in the next round, obviously, against the Lions. And I think this is an internal issue. And I'm a little torn on this, so I'd also love to hear Eagles comments because I know there's a bunch of them out there. What you guys think, Eagles fans, what you guys think down in the comments below, because at the end of the day, it's not easy to go 10-1 in the NFL at any point in any season. I don't care what anyone says, oh, easy schedule, easy this. 11 games to win 10 of them in the NFL is not easy. And I think that's an impressive feat by Sirianni and his team. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, but I am worried about Sirianni and the future of the Eagles solely because of the off-field issues. In case you didn't see it against the Bucs, their star receiver, A.J. Brown, who had like 1,400 receiving yards this season, just didn't play. I've heard a lot of rumors that, one, he didn't show up to practice. One, he skipped a team meeting. I've heard a lot of different things coming out of the Eagles organization. Either way, he removed all Eagles info from his social media and everything away from the Eagles. So he basically quit on the team, which one is a diva move, and I hate that from A.J. Brown because I'm a big fan of his. As I got ties to Ole Miss, family ties to Ole Miss, so I respect A.J. Brown. I watched him in college live. He's awesome. He's a heck of a player, but that's a diva move, and I hate that move personally by him. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's only Sirianni's fault, but at the same time, you're the head coach. It's your responsibility to tie everyone together. Also, they got Kelsey retiring. Tush Push may be gone for good. I don't know, but Kelsey was the main reason that thing went. Obviously, helps that Hurts can squat 600 pounds, but Kelsey retiring, great career. Hats off to him no matter what. He was an all-pro, I don't know how many times, a lot throughout his long career. And I saw a clip from his podcast with his brother, Travis, and it's pretty cool. He was almost tearing up talking about him hanging up the cleats and being done. So hats off to him. But back to the Eagles. I kind of got it off on a tangent there. I always do. But back to the Eagles. I think they're in a good spot. They have a lot of good young talent. Devonta Smith is better than I honestly thought he would be. When he came out as a rookie, he was struggling a little bit, and he's pretty special now. He showed that in the game against the Bucs. He was basically the only guy that could catch a pass. They also have DeAndre Swift. They got a great defense. Yeah, but I like that team. I think the Eagles will be good. They're going to be a problem for times to come. Next, we'll jump into the New York Giants. They finished the season 6-11, and they have the 6th overall pick. One thing I'll say about the Giants is they had a lot of injuries this year. Obviously, Daniel Jones, horrific injury, out for the year. Tommy DeVito, the superstar for a few games, like a Linsanity type run. That was fun to watch. And then Tyrod Taylor, he's just not a starting quarterback. So can't really blame him for going 6-11. But one thing I will say about the Giants is they hit big on Deonte Banks from last year's draft. They drafted him in the first round, and he's awesome. He's a corner out of Maryland. He's like 6'3". He's the new school corner, just like Tariq Woolen. And he's pretty awesome. So congrats on that. Now here comes the real question. So you signed Daniel Jones about $40 million a year. You have the 6th overall pick. Are you picking an O-lineman, the big guy, I forget his name, out of Penn State? Are you picking Chop Robinson, D-lineman out of Penn State, to help to buff up your D-line a little bit with Dexter Lawrence? Or are they going a completely different route and taking a quarterback and thinking Daniel Jones is not the guy and we're worried about his injury, and they take maybe a Drake May or a Jaden Daniels, reaching a little bit, but Jaden Daniels at 6th overall? I don't know, and this is why I wanted to start this segment, because I want to hear what you guys have to think and what you guys have to say in the comments, because it is interesting to think, like, this team could just give up on their $40 million guy, Daniel Jones. Sorry, you got hurt, man. Like, sucks to be you, because we're taking Drake May, or we're taking Penix, or we're taking whoever. Hopefully not J.J. McCarthy for Giants fans' sakes, but handoff merchant. But not a fan of his, obviously. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do, because there's a lot leaning on this draft for the Giants. A 6th overall pick is huge, especially after a down year for them. And then finally, we'll talk about the 4th team in the NFC East. Shout out Owen Welty, one of the biggest Commanders fans I know. And they got the number 2 overall pick. I'm hearing a lot of talk that they might trade with my Bears and move up to 1 to draft Caleb. I would take a haul for that pick, because Caleb is special, and he's a lot better than any of the other quarterbacks, in my opinion. And what are they going to do? Are they going to stick with Sam Howell and draft Alu Foshanu, I think his name is, out of Penn State? I remembered his name. The big O-lineman, he's like 6'6", 340. He's like a Penny Sewell type guy. He's a road grader. He's a great guy to have at tackle. They're going to draft him and build around Howell and not trade out of that pick, or maybe trade to like 5 or 6 and still draft that O-lineman. Or do they just say, Sam, you throw a lot of picks and you're done. Sorry, buddy. And we are drafting Michael Penix, or we're trading up and we're taking Caleb Williams and risking our future on Caleb Williams. I don't know. And there's a lot to talk about with this, because I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what's going to happen in this draft. It all relies on my Bears. I don't know if the Bears are going to draft Caleb and they're going to move on from Fields, because that'll basically decide it for the Commanders, what they're doing, what the Bears do. So I am interested in that. And drop a like, drop a comment if you like this segment, jumping through all the hoops and jumping through all the different conferences and divisions in the NFL, because I think it's cool and I think it's great to kind of dive into the draft and their future. But drop a like and drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. That's the first insights we have on the NFC East. We'll obviously move through all the conferences. And now we'll move on to our bets of the week. Here we go. We're obviously riding off a heater. If you don't follow the Instagram, you probably should, first of all. Second of all, you probably saw, if you do, that we went 5-1 last weekend in our bonus bets and in our bets of the week on episode 9. So we're riding off a heater. Here we go. We're sticking to props this week. I don't love any of the lines too much. I do like the Chiefs to beat the Bills, but not betting on that. Bills at home. I think I'm going to stay away from that. But here's the my favorite bets of the week. So first off, I got our whale play of the week, and that's Rashad White over 21.5 receiving yards. This is hit in 6 of the last 8 games. Yes, it is not hit last game, but it is hit in 6 of the last 8. And the bigger thing is that the Lions are surrendering the 27th most receiving yards to running backs in the NFL. Yes, that's an OKnowSports stat. I know, kind of a weird one. But another thing to keep in mind is the Detroit Lions arguably have the most high-powered offense in the NFL right now. We're up there with the Bills, the Chiefs, the Rams, well, even the 49ers. They're in the conversation no matter what. And they're going to put up points. I think if the Bucs end up going down early here, you could see Rashad White catching a few screen balls, catching a few dump-offs in a 2-minute drill here and there. All he needs is 21.5 yards. He's hit it in 6 of the last 8. I love this for our whale pick of the week. Our next play, Zay Flowers over 50 yards against the Houston Texans this weekend. He's had 50 yards in 3 of the last 4 games. And the bottom line, and the reason that I love this pick, is because you need your guys that you can turn to in the clutch, in the biggest moments of the season. This is the first playoff game for the Ravens. And yes, they've been kind of known, Lamar's been known to be a little dodgy. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. CJ Stroud was awesome last week. But either way, CJ Stroud's going to put up points. Like, he just is. It's the bottom line. Even though he's playing against a great Ravens defense, he's going to score a bit. And Lamar's going to turn to his guys that he needs. And all year, it has been Zay Flowers. He's their leading receiver by a very large margin. And I like this, 50 yards. He's the kind of guy, he runs like a 4.3. He's a rookie out of Boston College if you didn't know who he was. And, well, if you didn't, you probably should, first of all. But second of all, he runs like a 4.3. And he's the kind of guy that could catch a screen and hit that over right away on one play. He's done it before. I know he caught like a 60-yard touchdown 2 weeks ago against the Dolphins. So he's done it before, and he can do it again. Hopefully he does it again this week for us. Then our last pick is David Montgomery. He's been our dog. We've been betting on him a good bit here at OKnowSports. I love this line again for 54.5 over rushing yards. Yes, the Bucs defense is 6th in the league against rushing yards, but David Montgomery has hit this in 14 of 16 games this season. 13 of 15 games this season. That means he's only missed it twice, and one of them was his second game of the year. I mean, come on, guys. Like, let's follow the trends here. David Montgomery gets the rock a lot. They need to establish the run. They're playing at home. Stadium's going to be jumping. David Montgomery's their guy, along with Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously. I also love, if you want to sprinkle David Montgomery touchdown, minus 125. It's hitting 5 of the last 5 games. I think like 8 of the last 10. I mean, I love David Montgomery, and I'm a big fan of his, always have been since he came out of Iowa State. But those are our 3 bets of the week. Just to run over quick again, we got Zay Flowers over 50 yards. We got our whale play of the week, Rashad White over 21.5 receiving yards, so 22 or more. And then lastly, we got David Montgomery over 54.5 rushing yards. Thanks for listening. And I'm looking forward to watching this divisional weekend in the NFL. As always, subscribe, follow, and comment what you guys think about this new talking about the divisions in the NFL and talking about their futures. And comment if you're riding with our picks or not. Thanks for listening. Hope you podcast listeners are loving the new update. Worked a lot on that, getting us set up on the each podcasting app. So thanks for listening. As always, subscribe,